Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs in career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you very much.
Okay, if you voted for Donald Trump, this should come as no surprise to include myself because I did vote for Donald, just to be super transparent. But for those of you who are believing the mainstream, how Donald is trying to destroy education, he can't stand the kids, I think you heard it straight from Donald himself. He is very for education. He wants these kids to do better than him. And what's awesome to me, imagine yourself as a kid right now. Wouldn't you have loved to change your school if you could not stand the school you are in? Without a doubt, there are ways that anything can be used or abused, but in my personal opinion, everything that Donald is saying is what we need right now in this country. Not only do we have the money to do it, we have the manpower, we have the infrastructure, and we have the technology to provide for the needs of the children today. For whatever reason, as Donald points out, we have always relied on the Department of Education out of Washington, and they played a punishment role and they played an advisory role, but whenever you didn't agree with them and you wanted to change something up, you would get a phone call real quick from them. So this is going to be a massive change, and the fact that Republicans for the most part will be controlling a lot of government, and Donald Trump is super passionate about this point, and this is his last term in the United States as a president. I think he really wants to get this done more than anything. Donald had always said he cannot stand the Department of Education. They are destroying the youth, and he wants to bring the power back to the states. And I'll be honest with you, I agree with everything Donald is doing, but I hope that the states will back him up and actually give our children a proper education and a proper future.